presentations. Curriculum and instruction update by Mr. Sherburne.
Have the Ed Services team come up and give an update, kind of where we're at in the big picture and with some specifics moving forward.
Good evening again. It's my pleasure to be here tonight to share with you all the work that we've been doing to support our goal of college and career readiness, the state of California requirement. Across the country, education as a whole has been undergoing historic and unprecedented levels of change with the implementation of the Common Core state standards in both English language arts and math, the new California state frameworks, which I need a crane to lift up, and these are printed double-sided. And the new state testing that we have with CASP going on. I believe most of us would agree that with change, even when it's positive, comes anxiety and challenges and a lot of just outright hard work. Across the country as a whole, and certainly across California and right here in Mountain House with Lammersville, we're making great strides in addressing our shifts to the 21st century education and college and career-ready students. But what does that mean? How does it look in our classrooms? Where are we headed as we move from the infancy of this implementation to a fully developed, comprehensive, and integrated program? So that's what we're going to share tonight. In a nutshell, we've started with the end in mind, college and career-ready students. And we are preparing students for careers and jobs that have not yet even been developed. 21st century students need skills that will allow them to successfully adapt to an evolving future. They need strong communication skills interpersonally and digitally, the ability to think critically as ongoing consumers of knowledge, the ability to collaborate in all areas of their life, to be informed, engaged, and tech-savvy citizens, and who have the creativity to solve the problems of the future. We refer to these as the 5 C's: collaboration, communication, critical thinking, creativity, and citizenship. This is a huge shift from the emphasis on specific item-based content knowledge of the state standards in the past. Globally, these shifts, regardless of if we're thinking of English language arts or mathematics or the next generation science standards or anything else, they all boil down to a nexus of preparing students to be exceptional meaning makers and meaning communicators. 21st century students require 21st century classrooms. Classrooms with a blend of traditional and technology-embedded, research-based instructional tools, curriculum and strategies that embrace and infuse the 21st century skills mentioned earlier into everything that we do. And in order to effectively reach this goal, we must provide 21st century professional development to teachers. The construct of teaching and learning has never been more dynamic and fluid than it is right now. We must continue to grow in our knowledge and practice to keep pace with the changes of the world in which our children will live. So this is our big picture, but what I know that you're all most interested in is the particulars for right here in Lammersville Unified. So our coordinators, Jenna Cook and Brian Gervas, are going to take over now and walk you through the work that we're doing on our specific journey in bringing our vision to full fruition.
Thank you, Heather. My name is Jenna Cook, and I am one of 2 coordinators of instruction and technology integration. Prior to my employment in this new position, I had the privilege of teaching 5th grade at Bethany Elementary for 8 years. I now have the pleasure of coordinating and supporting RCD units of study, providing coaching and support for predominantly TK through 6th grade teachers, as well as assisting ongoing instructional shifts within LUSD.
And I'm Brian Gervas. I come from 19 years of teaching high school mathematics. Most recently, I was the math department chair last year at Mountain House High School, and this year I'm also with Jenna, one of the coordinators of instruction and technology. And I spend most of my day really looking at our classrooms and some of the great products that are available, and trying to put together a vision for what this looks like in our classrooms and how we can support these teachers on a daily basis.
So, a core element of Lammersville Unified School District strategic plan is to focus on the skills and conceptual tools that are critical for 21st century learners, including the 5 C's mentioned by Heather. The 5 C's embody mindsets that are critical for our students to successfully participate in the contemporary and evolving workplace. The goal is to incorporate these into all learning experiences within the district, across grade levels, subjects, and other school experiences. These 5 C's are at the forefront in LUSD and help guide the direction and composition of what goes on in the classroom.
And 21st century skills come from classrooms that are prepared for the 21st century. And in Lammersville, one of the things that it all begins with our expanding one-to-one initiative. And one-to-one computing is where we have one computer to each person, or each student inside of a classroom, so they can be tied into what's going on in the classroom. Currently in our district, we're 7 through 12, we're 1-to-1, and 4 through 6th grade, we're 2-to-1, and our TK through 3rd grade, we're 3-to-1. And so having this type of a one-to-one environment is what opens up the door for what we would consider our blended learning design. And blended learning comes from mixing, some of the best and tried and true traditional experiences that happen in a classroom with some of the best modern tools and the best modern pedagogies that come along with it. And it doesn't happen unless all these tools come together.
So the blended learning design benefits students in a multitude of ways. Classrooms are student-centered as they concentrate on engaging children within their differentiated interests. Within this mixture of traditional and contemporary teaching methods, students learn within a collaborative environment where new ideas are explored and opposing viewpoints are encouraged. Students participate in hands-on activities where they investigate a problem and provide justification for their answer. The role of a teacher transitions into that of a facilitator who asks probing questions, guides collaborative work, and fosters a safe environment where it is expected to take risks. Students use technology not only as a tool, but in order to achieve goals within academic context.
But all the things that go on inside these classrooms happen because we have modern tools, whether it's from sophisticated coding applications for the upper level students or math and science modeling applications for any kind of projects that are going on. Or whether we talk about some of the advanced collaboration tools that students are talking to each other or talking to their teacher or talking to the community members with. Or even more interesting, think about some of the awesome projects and the awesome digital displays. You saw 2 or 3 of them right here before you, where students are already those are young kids, they're involved in some really cool digital projects. And it's these kind of medias, right, that allow all kinds of sophisticated projects from relatively young students.
So once students are familiar with the digital tools available to them within a classroom, they are then able to apply their acquired content knowledge to real-life situations. As you walk throughout classrooms within LUSD today, you will see students actively designing school playgrounds, writing proposals, and giving presentations to relevant audiences. You will see the relationship of math to real-life context while students raise money to be able to purchase either an animal, plants, or basic items, and no, that was not planted in there, to provide to families of need. Students will be researching travel destinations and applying their acquired knowledge while analyzing the pros and cons of expenditures upon their trip. You will see modeled and scaled drawings of bedrooms, backyards, as well as city blueprints. As you step into classrooms throughout our district, you will witness children researching, evaluating, and defending solutions for situations that they can relate to and that they believe in. Students are able to realize how their learning can immediately be applied to the things that interest them outside of school.
But when our students leave Lammersville, they're going to be immersed in this quagmire of all types of digital displays and digital medias, right? And they need to become fluent learners, and not only just speaking and writing and reading as it's traditionally been, but how do I communicate through Twitter and YouTube, and what's a responsible way to be on Facebook, and all the different dynamics that come with being a social media person. And these are all parts of what goes on in what we're moving towards in our classrooms. Think about our Google Suite, or think about the second or third grader who sends their very first email for the very first time. Think about the student who collaborates on a digital document with a student in the classroom right next door to them, or even in a desk right next door to somebody. These type of communications and medias, they start as early as probably first or second grade, all the way up into our advanced classes.
And as we obviously saw with our third grade project, project-based learning stems from authentic driving questions or challenges that students desire to find the answer to. They conduct research, apply their 21st century skills that they have acquired. They work through productive struggle as they receive feedback, go through revisions, and then present the process to an audience. Some examples of project-based learning within our district are through the biomedical engineering classes, Project Lead the Way, robotics, science fair, as well as many other authentic projects that are happening consistently.
Earlier this year, our Ed Services Department had the opportunity to join one of the leading brain researchers right here from Stanford University, Dr. Joe Bowler, and we saw some just fantastic evidence. And the best part of all this is that the things that we're doing right now are actually research-based. There is actual statistical evidence that shows that kids' brains grow when they struggle. And that's our goal, right? Our rigorous curriculum design, everything that as we design these critical skills for kids, it's about students being able to have what's called positive struggle, right? And it physically makes their brains grow. So as we talk about our 21st century skills, none of this can come together, right? We can put as many tools as we want to. We can buy all the software and put it together, but this doesn't happen unless there's good 21st century instruction going on inside the classroom. There still is a teacher. It's still a classroom, and everything that has been true in the past is still very true today, right? About what has to be true about a teacher inside our classrooms.
In order for 21st century instruction to even take place, you must have technology-enhanced classrooms where students can utilize the tools needed to participate in a contemporary instruction. LUSD is proud to provide secure Wi-Fi, teacher laptops, student Chromebooks, as well as document cameras in all classrooms, while a majority of classes also have interactive whiteboards. This technology-enhanced classroom will allow learning to become mobile and in the moment, exposing students to learning opportunities that before did not exist. Ideally, these tools are infused within successful instruction methods all day, every day.
And our classrooms are really equipped to handle all different styles of learners. We have a variety of products that help target all kinds of different issues that come up in a classroom environment. We have a product called Guru, and Guru Learning is a system which teachers can package small little mini lessons together so that students can take those little lessons on their own or with a small group and kind of be guided through the instruction. And it's a really cool system for our teachers to share with each other. But think about the fact that this is also a global company, right? And our teachers right here in Lambertville are sharing projects and stuff that have been built in other countries and other states and other parts of the world. Compass Learning, which is used for targeted instruction, right? Students that have very targeted deficiencies in math or in English and places where we've identified that there's something that needs to be fixed. It's one of our programs that we're allowed to do those kinds of things. GoQuest is another product that we've recently unveiled for our higher achieving group of kids in classes. These are interest-based surveys where students can understand a little bit more about their interests, and then they're pushed into a project-based learning scenario that focuses on a topic, but also in a way that interests the students.
So as we work to unify rigorous and reflective instruction within LUSD, we utilize programs such as NWEA MAP and Illuminate to establish common assessments that then allow collaboration to occur and data-driven decisions to be made to immediately benefit students in our classrooms. These programs help us to look at data for differentiated grouping, enrichment, and accelerated models, in addition as a formative tool for teachers to use on a daily basis within their individual classroom.
And speaking of being our classroom organized, we have two of the industry standard tools right here in Lambertville. Number one, the Google Apps for Education suite. Across the country, over 90% of the schools employ the Google Apps for Education, where Google Docs and Google Sheets and Google Slides and Google Presentations. Google has recently unveiled a product called Google Classroom, which has allowed some of our younger classes to really have a nice learning management system similar to our advanced one, but definitely geared down towards younger students. And all these things that Google provides are all shared together in a nice Google Drive, right, that allows all the sharing that can go on, whether it's between students and teachers and students or community and students. We use the Canvas learning management system. Canvas has actually just been selected by the California Junior College Association as their official platform for their colleges going forward, which means that our students right now are going to be working in the exact same platform that every junior college in the state of California will use, and on top of that, a good chunk of colleges that are already a piece of that. And our Canvas system is it's a digital library. It's a place for our teachers to build courses and selectively be able to push things out to students and bring things back.
The sequence of planning, taking action, evaluating, and reflecting is not only essential within every student, teacher, class, and school site, but also as an entire district. The collaborative process of rigorous curriculum design, which has been implemented K-12, allows for continued reflection to take place prior to, within, and after each unit. LUSD is currently putting forth great effort in recalibrating to an articulated TK through 12 2.0 version of RCD, where units have infused blended learning components and tools, vertically aligned priority standards, incorporated 21st century skills, while maintaining the level of rigor that is required by Common Core within math, language arts, and next generation science standards. The development of 21st century skills in instruction feeds directly into establishing a 21st century classroom. However, the missing piece of the puzzle in setting up students to be college and career ready is 21st century professional development for all stakeholders in our district.
There's been a traditional model in the past for communication in a school district, and it's typically gone from from teacher to student and student to parent. And it's a very linear progression, and as many of us know, that the lines of communication get very convoluted along that line. And so one of the awesome things about technology and some of the learning management systems we have, like Canvas and Google Classroom, it allows us to think about it as a pyramid now of everybody being connected: the students, the district, the parents, the teachers. Everyone is connected. Everyone has a view of what's going on in the classroom. Everything is transparent. And so one of our driving goals of our department is how do we train everybody to be a successful part of the model that you see up here? Not just the parents, not just the students and our teachers, but how do we get the parents and the community and the district and everybody talking on the same page?
Meaningful professional development has the ability to greatly impact the instruction within the classroom. For the 2015-2016 school year, professional development has been centered predominantly on math content and practices. We are thankful for the county partnerships with San Joaquin and Stanislaus, as both have delivered research-driven presentation on mathematical practices and number talks during our full in-service days, as well as through multiple day interactive workshops with RCD leads. We have also continued a deeper look into the CDE math framework that Heather held up earlier, and its implications during grade level collaboration Fridays. Maintaining a focus centered on math has allowed our district to fully understand the shifts that are required for math within Common Core and to identify strategies, activities, and best practices on how to implement those shifts. Recently, we have also been working with the county as we continue to explore next generation science standards. Teams of teachers and admin attended workshops outlining the logistics of implementing these new standards, as well as identifying the differences between the old and new science standards. This was then re-emphasized with all 6 through 12 science teachers during January's in-service day. A Next Generation Science Standards Committee has now been formed and will start to meet and collaborate for a successful rollout, TK through 12.
One of the best parts of our department's new structure and alignment is really bringing a brand new model of coaching to the district as far as how we can help work with teachers. Our department has started helping to instill the principals as being really great instructional leaders of their own buildings. We have department chairs now in our high schools that are really focusing on their own subjects and helping to provide that coaching directly to those teachers. The structure of our department allows us to make peer visits, allows us to get subs for other teachers to visit other teachers, allows us to bring in model lessons and share those lessons with teachers or work side by side with some of those teachers. And the best part of all this, right, it's an on-demand assistance with teachers. There's no more of the 1 or 2 or 3 professional development series in a year, and then we come back next year and see what happens. We have the equipment now to provide this immediate feedback, right, where teachers can experiment with something, play with something else, and come back the next day and with some good evaluative experience.
So parents and community members have a very important role as they work with teachers to provide their children with the highest quality of education. We were excited to offer evening math workshops where over 100 parents attended and participated in engaging Common Core activities while learning about the demands of the new instructional shifts. As we strive to have constant communication, webisodes have been sent out concerning CASP, MAP, RCD, the curriculum committee, as well as other important updates. As the district website continues to expand, it houses a wealth of resources pertaining to LUSD. We love that Aries Portal, Canvas, and Compass Learning are all available for instant home access. And it enables stronger collaboration between school and home. We look forward to continuing ongoing communication to the parents and community of Lammersville. As our district continues to progress and develop 21st century skills, enhance classroom instruction, and meaningful professional development, all of the essential components brought forward tonight will mesh together to foster students that are equipped for the demands of the future that awaits them.
So thank you very much, Brian and Jenna. So as you can see, we have a great deal of things that are going on in order to support curriculum and instruction within our district. And we're just at the beginning. At the beginning of any change, you're going to have different levels of implementation as people continue to learn and grow. So different classrooms, different grade levels, they're in different places because this is a journey. And we're moving along this journey. But we already have so many great things. So what do we have for plans for the rest of this spring and this school year? Right now, our next big focus is starting our curriculum committee. We'll have our second curriculum committee meeting, and we'll be looking at the best options for our English language arts and math curriculum going into the 16-17 school year. Most importantly out of that is we need to make sure that we have informed consumers who really understand both the requirements for the 21st century learning and knowledge base that we want students to have, those 5 C's and how those are infused, and what the needs are specifically here of the students here within our district. So we'll be working on that through our curriculum committee process this spring. We'll be looking at moving into touch interface devices like perhaps an iPad for our TK, kindergarten, and first grade students to help make it a little bit easier for them to manipulate through some of those programs that we'd like them to use and make those really impactful in the classroom in meaningful ways. And we can roll those laptop devices up and increase the 1-to-1 ratio at the 5th and 6th grades. And so that'll help us along our way. We'll be looking at revising the report cards this spring and gathering teacher input to look at that. How do we make what's valuable to teachers and aligned to the Common Core standards be really meaningful feedback to parents that they can use. We'll be fully developing the GATE identification process and getting a program ready to launch into the 16-17 school year. Actually identifying students this year is our goal. We'll work on expanding the career tech ed pathways at the high school and looking at alternate high school options that will be available for students who have different needs, whether they have credit recovery or they're just not successful underneath our traditional model. We'll have meaningful integration of the CASP interim assessments to support instruction. In fact, the sites will be doing professional development for their district professional development day on Friday this week, and then they'll be doing more work to look at how to incorporate those most meaningfully into their current instruction so that they can support refining and tweaking their instruction between now and state testing. And we'll work really hard on developing RCD in this 2.0 version that Jenna mentioned earlier to make sure that we really are developing the best units, and how will that integrate with what we make as recommendations out of the curriculum committee so that we have a really well coordinated and articulated product. And lastly, we'll really be digging in with teachers to learn about the next generation science standards even more. We've already begun that journey, and we'll be talking about what is the best way to implement those and developing a plan. So these are really exciting times in education, and clearly there is a lot of work to continue to do as we're moving forward, creating this amazing 21st century education system in Lammersville. However, in closing, even though our journey in Lammersville is still in its infancy, it's a lot of hard work to learn and grow and adapt to address these unprecedented levels of change in the educational system. Here in Lammersville, we must remember to celebrate all that we've accomplished already. We have the highest CAS scores of any unified school district in the area on the very first CAS state test ever taken. We have 1-to-1 technology in 7th through 12th grade, 2-to-1 in grades 4-6, and 3-to-1 in TK3. And I can tell you from my own personal experience out there, this far surpasses many, many, many districts already. We have exceptional high school pathways that lead to things like Cisco certification and early college completion. We have a Golden Bell Award for the strategic plan for all of the work that's been done. We have K-12, a computer-based individualized learning opportunities for acceleration and for additional supportive instruction that's individualized and personalized. And we have multiple real-world opportunities that students are out there competing and earning medals like we saw tonight with the American Mathematics Competition, but also in the Science Olympiad, the Math Olympiad, the Spelling Competition, the Science Fair, our ASB student leadership programs, and the Pentathlon, and we know that there's even more to come. So we have so much to be proud of and so much that we've accomplished already, but in the future we know there's a lot more greatness to come. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for the presentation, everyone.